and general in the former administration, he was the Director General. Function as the Director General and the Minister of Justice. We have back Dr. Kule and the flair for which you gave approval. We have amidst us a movement to that location. Mrs. Stella. It has pleased God and you, I now present myself. Thank you very much. That in the service of the state, as Secretary to the state government, I'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to the legal state of Nigeria at all times. I will not discriminate on the basis of religion, tribe, fault, or status, or practice any form of partiality in the performance of my official duty. I will always place service to the public above selfish interests, realizing that a public office is a public trust. I will always perform my official duties diligently and efficiently, and will not engage or be involved in any activity in conflict either directly or indirectly, with this pledge. I will, in the performance of my official duties, eschew and expose corruption in any of its phases, in and outside the public service. I will always follow the path of justice, honesty, and concord amongst all the people of Nigeria in all I do. So help me God.
Just a minute, a minute.
Mr. A.O. Odupeso.
Thank you.
The
was definitely proven merit. This being so, I want to invite you to come on board solidly with the administration, to put your hands on the plow and never to look back in the cause of goal-getting and target achievement. Those of you who have been in the team of Director General are enjoying to redouble your effort, while those who are newly coming into office are advised to quickly prove their merit. There are many areas of emphasis, but I need only dilate on a few in this exhortation. The first side is revenue generation and expenditure control. The issues of service delivery are so enormous in Lagos State and are yearning for attention in every sphere that it becomes imperative to look for ways and means of satisfying to relieving communal demand. Therefore, our first target is to provide the wherewithal. All Directors General and indeed all functionaries of government and staff should perform as revenue generators and collectors. No single kobo that should come into the covers of government should be allowed to slip off. Specifically, I want greater effort in the tax collection, land revenue collection, transaction of fees and rents, necessary compensation and remuneration will be spent to those who excel in revenue generation on a personal basis or group basis. This will be appropriately worked out. The other side of the coin is as important. Expenditure control, if not infused into the system, will make revenue generation a thankless effort. Expenditure control covers the whole system of pricing, bids, award of contracts, utilization of modes of expenditure, stores operation, maintenance of stores and equipment, disposal and renewal. No aspect of this list should be toyed with, otherwise you will be equally as guilty of participating in the wastage of public wealth. Since I assumed duty as a military administrator in Lagos State, I have noticed the long winding cycle around payments for services rendered and enjoyed by the system. It is my view that for whatever has to be done to ensure that payment is being made for services delivered, such payment procedure should not exceed 28 days. Unknown to us, the delay in paying contracting funds is already part of the indexing of costs currently being experienced. There is therefore need for speed of action. Time is money, and the system cannot accept or tolerate delays at any stage of the cycle of service delivery. I count very much on your cooperation and support as you come on board with me in this administration, and I hope you will perform to the level of the trust now reposed in you. As we forge ahead in the gradual shaping of the central administration, attention will be shifted on our parastatal organizations and local governments. To this end, all boards of parastatals are hereby dissolved. Director General should assume supervisory role in respect of these parastatals until their boards are reconstituted. The local government audit committee report will be presented today congratulate your families, friends, and well-wishers. God bless and thank you.
Government, direct via present state, head of personnel management in local government services of Lagos State, our royal father, and via present, chairmen and members of community development association, gentlemen of the press, week celebration in Lagos State, which is going to be declared open today by our indefatigable administration in Lagos State. I congratulate of the state that to come and read the welcome address. Please.
Directors General, Directors, Heads of Personnel Management, Local Government Service, Your Royal Highnesses, others, market leaders, men and women, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I call our rural people to this joyous occasion, which is the opening ceremony of the 19th year before the inception of DIPRI and the launching of the Integrated Rural Development Policy nationwide brought hope and some relief to the rural dwellers, as roads were opened up to link communities, boreholes and deep wells were sunk to provide potable water, and most unbelievable, electricity, which used to be the exclusive preserve of the urban dwellers, found its way to the villages and hamlets. But it also surpassed the 997 kilometers of road target set by the federal government as one to proceed to phase 4 of the program, and happily substantial progress work in central areas of the state. And 92 that our rural electrification plan to appeal to the military administrator to kindly assist the state DIPRI so that the project will materialize before the and indeed Lagos State has a record of excellent performance. Best state in rural development effort in the country. We can achieve more if only more. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, projects at Agege, Alimosho Island, please don't be surprised. On a visit to Ojo and Badagry local government. Let me appeal to you, rural week celebration will be rounded up by a rural rally. That is the closing ceremony. The military administrator will give awards to the best 3 local governments, the best 3 community development associates to either the state in form of rural development or their community. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you all to this auspicious occasion and wish you all a happy celebration.
To celebrate the rural week. So the translation of the speech. Thank you very much. Ní Akínsànyà Àjọṣe, mo kí gbogbo àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ tí ó rí sí ìdàgbà àṣà pẹ́lẹ́nu ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ ọba wájú abẹ́rẹ́. Mo wá kí gbogbo àwọn ìyálọ́jà. mo tún wá kí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa pátápátá láti gbogbo ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún tí ó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó fún àwọn láti kí olùṣàkóso ológun ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Wọ́n wá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run wípé a ṣayẹyẹ ti ọdún tó kọjá ojú wa tẹ̀sí. Wọ́n ní kò sí ìdàgbàsókè ní àwọn ìgbèríko wa rárá. Wọ́n ní wọn ò tiẹ̀ mọ àwọn ìgbèríko gbogbo. Omi tó ṣe é mu kò sí ní àwọn ìgbèríko wọ̀nyí. Wọ́n ní ṣùgbọ́n pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́ àwọn dísì adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run mu oṣù wà káàkiri. Wọ́n ní iná ọba pàápàá. Wọ́n ní káṣíṣe ju ilé ìkànnà pé kí ìmọ́lẹ̀ kó dé wà ní. Wọ́n wá ní kọ́ wọ́n wá dúpẹ́ dáadáa wá ṣàlàyé pé ọtí ó rí sí ìdàgbàsókè ìgbèríko. Wọ́n wá ń ṣàlàyé wípé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó wọ́n ní òun yóò gbé ipa olókè. Ẹ jẹ́ àpàtẹ́wọ́ fúnra wa. Ti omi tó lé ní 22 láti sọ wọ́n ní kí wọ́n jọ kí wọ́n dìde láti ran ilé iṣẹ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ láti mú pé iṣẹ́ yìí kọ́ ọjọba ìpínlẹ̀.
I'm here today on the occasion of the opening ceremony of the 1994 Rural Development Week celebration. Let us give thanks to the Almighty God for sparing our lives to witness this year's celebration. It is my prayer that the Almighty God will be with us throughout the celebration. Today's ceremony, which we are here gathered for, is very symbolic. It is symbolic because since I assumed office, this is the first time that I will be formally meeting a cross-representation of the rural dwellers of Lagos State. I therefore welcome you all to this occasion, which is a yearly national event organized not only to mark the inception of free in our country, but to focus on the development efforts of our rural people and to ensure that, unlike in the past, people at the grassroots level are not neglected in the struggle for the socio-political and economic emancipation of the people of our dear country. It will be recalled that in the maiden address of the head of state and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, General Sani Abacha, he emphasized that this administration will focus more on programs that will be beneficial to the majority of the citizens of this country. In line with this policy, and with my personal conviction that rural development program, if well executed, will be of immense benefit to a majority of our people who still no doubt live in the rural areas. My administration will make rural development one of its cardinal programs. This is aimed at ensuring that the tempo of rural development in the state is sustained and the welfare of our rural populace improved. In furtherance of this, I want to assure the people of the Ibeju Lekki local government council area, the local government which is regarded as the most rural in the state, that the rural electrification of the area is a top priority program of my administration. DFRI, in its 7 years of existence in the country, has made impact on the lives of our rural dwellers nationwide in spite of the activities of a few bad eggs in the organization who see the program as an opportunity to make quick money fraudulently. It is interesting to note that in Lagos State, quite a lot has been achieved within so short a time. From information at my disposal, out of about 3,656 kilometers of road opened up, more than 2,347 kilometers have been taken over by the state and tied as a result of their economic importance include the 29-kilometer Agege-Ega Ojo Road in Alimoto local government, 6-kilometer Akura-Ikokuta-Imota Road and bridge in Ikorodu local government, the Ilara-Igunla Road and bridge in the Ibeju local government, and the next 5-kilometer Ibeju Lekki Aboreji Coastal Road in the Ibeju Lekki local government area. In addition to the above, about 1,160 water points have been provided in the rural areas, with 27 micro-water projects, including those of the 5 model colleges. 87 rural electrification projects are provided for 171 rural communities, and a total of 12 transportation jetties were provided in the rural area of the state. Let me assure you that all the free projects abandoned, uncompleted, or non-functional will be resuscitated, completed, and made functional as soon as possible. The maintenance section of the state debris shall be adequately funded to carry out this urgent assignment. Immediately these projects are provided, it will now be the responsibility of the local government and the Community Development Association in areas to provide security and ensure regular maintenance and functionality of the projects. Local government should also assist these communities by carrying viable roads on earth. In the next few days, and as earlier highlighted by the State Director of DFRI, I shall be visiting some local governments to commission rural development projects provided by either the federal and state governments through the state DFRI, local governments, or by communities themselves. I am sure with your support and cooperation, I look forward to a successful rural tour. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to seize this opportunity to appeal to you all to please give your tacit support to government at all levels. Events of the past 1 year is a good pointer to the axiom, united we stand, but divided we fall. The Constitutional Conference Commission has been inaugurated by the Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General Sani Abacha. It is the responsibility of the people in the rural areas all over the Federation to ensure that they make meaningful inputs so that a successful conference is held. Once again, I welcome you to this auspicious occasion, and I now have the honor and privilege to declare the week-long celebration open.
Budgetary provisions. And you are saying, why is it that teachers are not taken care of? They will be taken care of. The government.
so that can transfer.
Thank you very much, sir. Having said that, sir, this meeting was supposed to have been held on the 28th of January 1994, sir. But the meeting had to be rescheduled for today simply because not all the representatives of the transport union were around the association. Myself, sir, and Babasa, and I go to the Minister of Transport, sir, and my colleague, Mr. Nami, at motor parks, and the modalities in which the union should behave themselves, transport workers. They say that you are not in line with that. And in your characteristic way, you directed that a meeting should be summoned so that we all come together again and listen to their view. And that's why this meeting is stated for today. And I'll call on the...
This being an exclusive issue of the State Council.
Just before you go ahead, when the National Union of Road Transport Workers came after our initial decision because feedback came to me that some of our decisions were not complied with, and the non-compliance was coming from a particular body, and that happened to be National Union of Road Transport Workers. I invited to get to know why that was so, but during the course of our trying to discuss, I discovered that there was a deviation from the decision we all reached. And I said, well, since it's only National Union of Road Transport Workers that was present at that meeting, it cannot go ahead because they were ably represented by this gentleman when we took the decision, and it would be unfair to reverse the decision without the presence of those other unions that were present that day. And that is what militated this joint meeting again, so that we revisit the issues raised, how we read the decision which your man took part, and we all agreed upon. And I want to say generally, my ethic, we must move Lagos State forward. And we must bring succor to the commuters in Lagos. That is the basis of all this, and that's why we have just, it seems as if we're just meeting afresh on the problems that the state was directed to look into, just like any other state in the Federation. It has been complied with in other states. Fears have been reduced, but we that were the number one state, I always say it is, because I was in position to state proudly some 2 days ago when I went to defend my 94 budget, because while some states are just managing to budget as much as Ethiopia local government will do, I tell them that when we tell you at number one, I was budgeting or rivaling the federal government. So if as the leader in everything, then it should be in all ramifications, and that's why I said, I mean, we have our fathers here, and we cannot be selfish to the extent that the majority of the people of Lagos should be suffering unnecessarily.
Degree 89. Go see problem. Degree 89.
Yes. That is the Road Transport Workers Union and the Road Transport Employers Association. We've discussed at the level of the state government, and the position of the state government is that we should go and resolve, the two organizations should go and resolve their problems themselves. The Nigeria Labour Congress has indicated its intention to bring the two organizations together. We've started working on this arrangement, and I can assure you by the special grace of God, within the next 1 week, we are going to get to the bottom of the crisis. We are going to bring the two factions together. Court case or not court case, there is room for out-of-court settlement. We are going to resolve the problem by the grace of God, and we are going to ensure that it does not disrupt the services to be rendered to the commuters in Lagos State.
What do you say about the situation where union members now collect money from the motor parks? Is the NLC against it or in support of it?
Well, you see, any organization must have its funds to operate. All these are the problems you are going to look at in all its ramifications. How do you collect your dues? Where do you collect the dues? How do you operate? How do you operate without infringing on the rights of the other organizations? These are the totality of issues we are going to look at, and I can assure you are going to resolve them. Thank you very much.
Can you explain a little bit in your
nǹkan tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé èdè àìyedè díẹ̀ ló wà láàrin àwọn tá a lè pè lọ́mọ ìyá méjì. A sì ti ń gbìyànjú láti wo nǹkan tí a lè ṣe sí. Àwa pẹ̀lú ìjọba àtijọ́ finúkonú àtijọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí. Ìjọba ti gbà yí pé ká lọ wo bí a ṣe lè parí ìjà yẹn fún àwọn méjèèjì. Ẹgbẹ́ Nigeria Labour Congress àti bá àwọn méjèèjì sọ̀rọ̀ ń sìn, a máa pè wọ́n pọ̀. A máa èdè àìyedè tó wà láàrin wọn, a máa yanjú ẹ̀ láì jẹ́ pé ó ní ìpalára fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àbáwọn èèyàn tó ń wọkọ̀ nígboro Èkó. Ẹ̀bẹ̀ tí a kàn ń bẹ̀ ń sìn ni pé àtọ̀tún àtòsì kí wọ́n jọ kí wọ́n fọwọ́ wọnú kí wọ́n fún Nigeria Labour Congress ní àǹfààní láti lè yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Èyí tó burú jù ni pé a gbọ́ pé ìkan nínú àwọn ẹgbẹ́ méjèèjì ó ti lọ sílé ẹjọ́, ṣùgbọ́n mo lè fi dá yín lójú pé lágbára Olódùmarè a máa yanjú ẹ̀ even pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ẹjọ́ kò ṣe ilé ẹjọ́, àyè wà láti yanjú irú ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí láì jẹ́ pé ilé ẹjọ́ dá sí. Tá bá yanjú ẹ̀ tán a sọ fún kóòtù pa àti yanjú ẹ̀, kóòtù dẹ̀ nílò ìdísí nǹkan tá a ṣe. Thank you.
I told you that I can.
Government and the other party.
The whole thing is in a deadlock on the ground that we are on two parts. The National Union said they want to be collecting dues in the park, and we at the Atujak, we comprises the Aritian, NATO, Tajid Association, Urban Boss, and some other unions said no, that there will be no more collection of any dues from the park. Everybody should collect any dues at all at its own state headquarters. We all have state offices, so we can collect anything we want to collect there. But the government too is on our support that there is no collection of any dues in the park, and they even brought an edit that stipulated that dated back 89. But the ministry administrator is very considerate in the fact that he doesn't want to slam that edit on everybody yet. He asked us to go and hold dialogue within ourselves. But with the new dimension of taking the whole Abuja to court, I don't think there is any way of compromising yet.
So now there is a deadlock.
It's a deadlock.
So what is going to happen right now?
We will notify the administrator on our stand anytime from now. We will go and meet. We hold another meeting anytime from now, and then we give the administrator insight of what we feel.
So, sir, nothing was discussed concerning the transport fare or touting?
If the touting matter is not removed, transport fare cannot come down. And we even told them that any committee that is going to be set up that is all these things are not inclusive cannot work.
So the touting are still there now?
Yeah, the touting are still there.
Thank you very much. Just a moment. Just explain in Yoruba.
Ìpàdé láti pẹ̀lú olórí ìjọba Èkó ó dàbí wà pé ó forí sánpọ́n díẹ̀ nítorí àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹyọ níbẹ̀ lórí àwọn agbèrò àti àwọn tó ń gba owó ní ibi ìdó ìwọkọ̀. Kò ṣeé ṣe fún àwọn kan pé kí wọ́n mọ̀ gbà, àwọn kan dẹ̀ sọ pé àwọn ò gbà mọ́, ṣùgbọ́n ó di pé àgbò méjì fẹ́ mú mi ní kòtò. A sì ti bá gómìnà náà dàgbà pé wọ́n fara mọ́ wa pé káyọ̀ ẹnì kankan mọ́ gbà, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní ìwé òfin kan wà tó ní kí wọ́n mọ́ gbà mọ́ láti nǹkan bíi 1989. Ìwé òfin yẹn làwọn pé kí wọ́n mú lò báyìí. So pẹ̀lú eléyìí tí wọ́n bá mú lò àwọn òbí yóò wúlò, ṣùgbọ́n òun ò fẹ́ gbé ìwé òfin ilé a lórí. Ó ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí àgbàlagbà ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ká lọ forí korí láàrin ara wa ká má bàa sì lè yanjú ẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n kò lè sí ìyanjú.
Thank you very much.
Issue, anybody who gives money has committed an offense which is punishable in the first instance by 3 months. So the issue is this: we have made it very clear to the military administrator that in as much as we want to cooperate as being elicited by the military administrator, it is very unfortunate that like the Nigeria Labour Congress should hold brief for the National Union of Road Transport Workers, who are invariably indebted with the issue of increasing transport fare and the issue of touting in the motor parks. We have
said it. No, we don't need touts in the motor park.
What you're saying now is that Nigeria Labour Congress is on the side of the Nigeria Union of
very clearly.
Collecting of
all their actions, they support their activities, and I think it's a strong pity to the commuters that those whom they hold brief for, whom they held in esteem that they will ameliorate their problem, are now worsening their problem. So the workers should go to the various unions and go to Nigeria Labour Congress and ask them, what are they standing for? Is it for peace or for understanding? Is it for reduction of transport fare? So that is the issue. So we are saying we don't need any other thing. Whether Nigeria Labour Congress or Nigeria Labour Congress is not a part of the question of reduction of transport fare. The reduction of transport fare is the issue of operators of transport. And if anybody by any imagination says that we should continue with the touts, anybody who says that touts should be allowed to operate in the motor park is even saying that the transport should be increased. So the Nigerian Labour Congress, the workers should go and hold the Nigerian Labour Congress responsible. Although the National Union of Road Transport Workers are taking us to court. Yes, we will face it because Decree 47 says that intra-union and inter-union cannot be rested on the issue of any high court. It's a matter of industrial arbitration panel. Yes. Road Transport Employer Association of Nigeria is a part of the All Transporters Association. So I'm not afraid whatever legal action they've taken, we are going to meet them. But we are saying let the commuters have rest of mind. Let them have a reduction in transport fare. This is what we are fighting. We are fighting for the masses. We are not fighting for ourselves. So we want the public to rally around us. This is exactly what we are saying, the all transporters. We are fighting for them.
Our knowledge has been widened, and I am sure it was an exercise that we all love doing after all. I just come here to tell you that we have looked into the books. We saw a lot of things. I'm sure you expected from us to see a lot. Some of them are good, some are not so good. We looked into the books. Some of the books were quite okay. Some left a lot to be desired. There was another common point we had, and that was the mass transit program, which I am sure will interest you. Government Council, we have made a recommendation, and we believe it will be useful to discuss. We have also seen the way the books are kept in, and we will some of the areas that we would have loved to really go into. But the deeper road will be instituted into some of the activities that are required, and God alone communities from somewhere else, parents and money to get the job done. But because we have the content, we have recommendations. We believe and hope that this recommendation will go a long way to help people in the East to move there. Thank you very much.
Local government, Mr. D.O. Ojo.
Gregory Grove.
I want that.
Bad music, can you go to the front so that people can come in? No, so that we are discussing. Okay, let's go.
From the other Zulu, from Zulu. On the wall.
They're both from Washington. On his left is Mr. He is an infrastructure engineer and in charge of drainage and urban transportation.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Developed here in Lagos State and supported by the World Bank. One is in preparation in the very early stages. That's the urban transport project in the discussion stage. The other is in the Lagos drainage and sanitation project is in the takeoff stage. That is, the loan work is complete and we're ready now to start implementation. And the other, the water supply project, is now reaching the peak of its development. That we have scheduled for this year a large amount of water works. My colleague, Mr. Hindley, will talk about the other two projects, the water supply project and the drainage and sanitation project. But let me first say a few words about the proposed Lagos urban transport project. I think we're all agreed, anyone who has traveled across Lagos during the rush hour, that this is a very important project to try to free up the traffic and make transport more viable for everyone, and especially for low-income people in Lagos. This is a very serious problem. And we've done quite a bit of study of this together with the state government and the ministry and the federal Ministry of Transport, trying to understand where the congestion problems come from and what can be done and what the most cost-effective solutions are for dealing with that. We've ourselves done one study of urban transport about 3 years ago. There was another study done by a consultant about 2 years ago. And there was a long meeting in November to discuss this and discuss all aspects of the problem. And in that meeting, it was several things were generally agreed upon. This was a meeting the first week in November. One was that really a mix of solutions is necessary. That a long-term solution would see a commuter rail developed that would move from out this way into the Lagos area, but that it would be very costly to develop this in one go. That the intermediate solution would be to develop the commuter rail up to the present railhead, but not yet into Lagos Island because of the cost involved of building a bridge, but that traffic could be shuttled in and out of Lagos Island using buses if the busways are clear. Improvements of intersections, improvements of traffic management, of traffic police, and moving market areas free so that buses can pass. There's many opportunities were identified by those consultants that could be implemented fairly quickly if there is resolve from the state. Traffic management on a fairly large scale, and I think the seminar that was held in November agreed that would limit the rail and accent the traffic management options, but the second and third stages could see a completion of all of them. Now, in addition to this, there was some discussion of what institutions would be involved to carry out such a project. And there was some agreement that a Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority might be the best solution, or would be the best solution. The problem being that there is now the federal government involved, several agencies and ministries of the federal government. There's the state government, Ministry of Transport, and if the responsibility for this important traffic management came directly within a ministry of the state government, it might not have the independence necessary to make tough decisions and to bridge the gap between administrations as they change. So, as the water authority, the water corporation is an independent agent, and we've worked with them now under 3 different administrations at least. So, an independent transit authority could also be the type of strong agency that you need to make tough decisions. Now, we're licensing and tolls by vehicle owners are quite large, and some of this money could be channeled into this metropolitan agency, and we were hoping to do.
During that time, the project has really taken off. And first, I'd like to talk a little bit about implementation, and then a little bit about the Lagos Water Corporation as an institution. As I said in a letter that we wrote to you recently, over the last 18 months, the project has transformed from a project that was threatened with cancellation because implementation was so slow to something that is going dynamically forward. We're pleased to see that still going.